on me, but how can I feel you? I gotta shit me this way to broke me. I don't have moments to play it on me. I know it's been long since I went in the worship and feeling the flow and I'm glad that I've seen you. I can't breathe, I don't feel peace. I'm too stressed out, getting on my knees. Take the time to cry to God and let it out. I want your peace. Feel like Sean C. Johnson, it's too much to think, so come see me. I know all things work together for my good. Mama told me he undefeated. I got a job, I ain't even I squeeze it. Ain't for the heart, like the pleasure of allegiance. You want me to quit, but I ain't gon' do it. Even though we're way better than roof Chris. Ain't for the head drop top, no roofing. I'll go down on top like roofing. Thank to God, I'll be a soldier. He said go, I'll go explosion. On my soul and no amen, I'll fix my mind, I'll do it again. But God don't leave me in the wind, just let me feel you not knowing. I need your presence and your favor. Be with me, do not forsake me. I'll go hard for you on daily. I just need to stay up praying.
Peace and love, peace and love. Gemstar in the building, was good, was good. Yeah, man. I see Alpo's killer got arrested today, you know. It goes to show you, if you live by the sword, you're gonna die by the sword. That's a fact, you know what I mean? No matter who you are, no matter if it's vigilante justice, you know, whatever the cause was. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. Some things you gotta leave with God and let the authorities handle it. That's what they're there for, you know? It's sad because that dude, Alpo's killer, you know what I'm saying? Shaquem Parker, that's his name. He's 27 years old, 130 pounds. He's 5'4", right? I don't know what was so important why they gotta put that in the description, but for you to be that short, to be murdering or shooting Alpo on Halloween night, October 31st, the way he shot him 4 or 5 times or whatever, or 5 to 7 times through the window of his truck. Now, mind you, it brings forth some sort of fishy, suspicious thoughts that come in my head with that. You know what I mean? So I'm going to say he allegedly murdered this man. He allegedly. Because off of the description and how Alpo was murdered, I'm not an investigator or nothing like that. I'm not a detective. But just from logic, if you 5'4", right? You a little dude, 5'4", 130 pounds. You 27, right? Okay, you a little dude. Alpo like what? 6'2", 55 years old. What type of interaction would they normally have? You know what I'm saying? And dealing with each other. A 55-year-old and a 27-year-old is like two different worlds. Where Alpo took his girlfriend or something and had sex with his girl or something, or you know, try to son him on the block or something like that. Like, you a little nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, get those packs for me, and never paid him or robbed him or kept sonning him, or did he have sex with his mom or something? What made him do that? Did Alpo kill a relative of his? You know what I'm saying? Could it be his father or grandfather or something like that Alpo killed back in the days or something? What kind of interaction would they have from a 55-year-old and a 27-year-old, right? That's number one. Number two, and the only reason why I say that is because he got shot that many times. Number two is like, the way he got shot. Alpo was sitting in his truck. He had a pickup truck, right? It was lifted. Dude 5'4". How's somebody that short gonna shoot that man and the bullet holes is like facing down through the window into Alpo like 5, 6, 7 times? Was that dude used as a distraction so someone could hit Alpo from somewhere else from a distance? How did that dude that short shoot facing downward into the car when he's only 5'4", the truck is lifted? What kind of truck he had? He had like I know it was a pickup truck, a 2017 Dodge Durango or something like that, right? Now, without a lift, a Dodge Durango is going to be way taller than a 5'4" person, right? Alpo 6'2", so his head going to be a little higher up too, right? Chest frame, what is going to be higher up. So how's a 5'4" dude? Because you would think if you're going to shoot, if you got close up to the truck, in my opinion, wouldn't the bullets go through some of the doors facing upward? Because this truck is lifted. I don't know, man. I believe that with the investigators and detectives, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to say he allegedly did that. Because I know also NYPD be known for just picking random dudes out of hat and stick them to a crime just to close the case. You know? Was this a cover-up? Did NYPD have something to do with that? Was somebody hired, like a hitman, on a higher up? Because, you know, we see speculation. He's coming out with a movie that's going to be big time. Like Big Meech in them. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be paid in full too. And we know how much money paid in full the first one made with Cam and all them. So, you know, the elites definitely want rights, publishing, all types of ownership for this new movie coming out. So the timing for the movie to drop days after, we got the announcement days after Alpo got murdered, brings forth some sort of speculation. You know what I'm saying? Like, was the elites involved in this? Where we know Alpo, he was fishing around trying to tell his story to the highest bidder. Facts. He was making documentaries when he got released from jail. He was all over the streets. He was trying to make his name known, and he was trying to knock out the middleman. So he seen how the potential money that paid in full, the first one made. I'm pretty sure he was like, listen, now that I'm home and this is my story, everybody want my story. Nobody created a story like me, because I'm the daggone main narrator in this situation here. All the money and the rights should come to me. The publishers should go to me. So, were there any kind of like disagreements and foul play to be like, listen, I don't like this attitude. We gotta cut the middleman so we can have the publishing the rights. We're not gonna give Alpo that much money. Because now, you know, Dame Dash, you know, them is coming out with this movie that was announced a week, 2 weeks, 2 weeks later after Alpo was murdered. So was it foul play where they put a hand in this where, okay, we hired a hitman or a sniper, murder this man because it looked too professional the way he was hit, according to other people who was interviewed in the past, who are known for do investigations like these. It said it looked too professional. Like it could have been a sniper move or something like that. But the bullet holes was explaining it went downward almost perfectly, close range and close proximity from each other into Alpo. Directly into Alpo, nobody else. Wasn't on the door like it was a drive-by, wasn't nothing like that. So it brings forth a lot of speculations in these accusations where it, you know, and I know NYPD is known for, like I said, picking random people out of a hat just to solve a crime, just to keep the case closed. So, and expect people to be dumb not to do their own investigations on it or second guess on what the government or police have to say. You know what I mean? They corrupt like that. They always do stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be surprised if they just use this kid as a pawn to take the rap. You know what I'm saying? For Alpo's murder, so they can continue on with this with this movie. You know what I mean? It's just too much speculation, because I still don't see somebody that's 130 pounds, that's 27 years old, who wasn't even around when the 80s was around. So it just doesn't seem right. It doesn't fit right in me, in my opinion. You know what I mean? To shoot accurate shots like that into a high lifted up truck, and he's that little. It doesn't make sense to me. So I'll just let everybody else go on with the investigations. And that's all I needed to hear, because I didn't go all into those investigations anyway. Now, headline news. We see World War III officially started, you could say. You know, Putin put his military generals on high alert, ready for nuclear war if U.S. decides to step in to fight Russia against Ukraine. Okay. We expected that, World War III. This is prophesied. So those who are Christians, this is nothing new. This is a rerun, or should I say a page finally being played according to what we kept being hearing about as a child coming up, the Battle of Armageddon. I explained my theory on that on my last previous video, so I have to get into this one, right? We also see Biden wanted China to force Russia to end the confrontation between Ukraine and Russia. You know what I mean? China ain't gonna listen to the U.S. on that. China already made it clear that they're backing up Russia against U.S. They already have issues with U.S. And they also blaming U.S. for starting this beef, with this tension with Russia and Ukraine, because Biden with his mouth keep talking junk because he's the main superpower or something like that. He's gonna police the situation and regulate it and gonna threaten Putin over whatever issues they had in the past, which China's saying they kind of forced Russia hand to just move in because y'all keep sending troops on the borderline. So that's self-defense. So it's like y'all instigated it. So Russia ain't backing down, not scared of you. And financially, China's backing Russia in case U.S. try to sanction them, which they tried, but they did already. You know what I mean? But it didn't really make a difference with Russia because they already have digital currency by China, plus the Bitcoin and everything else I explained in my previous video, that's financing them. Plus, U.S. is purchasing their oil and buying their oil. And mind you, they back Venezuela up with oil, and so they have oil from Venezuela as well. You know, the banks and all that stuff. Plus, China runs pretty much U.S. banks. You know what I mean? They bought out the banks, agriculture, and everything else, corporate trades and all other stuff too. So it's like a win-win for Russia. And I wouldn't be surprised if China and Russia invade U.S. the way U.S. invades other countries. They could surround and invade U.S. and use nuclear war or whatever. So we are like the main superpower that's supposed to back up all other countries. Like Japan, you know, like South Korea, you know, like Taiwan, you know what I'm saying? Israel, all different countries we back up too. So our military is kind of stretched thin. India, you know what I mean? So we're going to need all our allies, plus African allies or whatever, to try to help us, along with the UN, along with NATO forces in the Baltic Sea, to come through and try to help Ukraine out. But it sounds like in different stories, like Ukraine pretty much is like still kind of left on their own, because it's like U.S. still don't really want to fight them. And it seems like they're not really 100% going to back the allies out, like they talking junk, trying to find ways to bail out from backing out Ukraine when Russia started talking about using nuclear warheads. Like, once they heard that, they want to start blaming Ukraine for their little faults and little issues they have. And now they want to try to find every little excuse to jump ship to make it justified. And I already told you about that in my previous video too, how U.S. be like the way they did in Afghanistan. You know what I'm saying? How they left their allies out there for the Taliban to take over. You know, so is this going to be a continuous pattern? We don't know what U.S. is going to do. Are we ready for nuclear war? My personal opinion, we're not. I feel like we're financially in debt and we already owe our enemies adversaries too much money as it is. We depend on our enemies for oil, just like we do with Saudi Arabia. I think it's overwhelming, but we have to keep a name and keep our rep up for our allies that's watching us, like Israel, India, South Korea, Japan, because no one's military on our side is as big as the U.S. We back them other countries up. Russia's military out, the manpower outweighs our military. The only difference with their military or our military, the only advantage we have over Russia is we have a better air force. We have a stronger air force, so we can get them by air. But as far as on the ground and with missiles, it's no comparisons. They were joined with China. In China, we had a bigger air force than China too, but we're in debt. In China, we owe China the money. In China, all we gotta do is continue building more planes and more warships like that. And next you know it, within a few months, they equal, if not larger, than us in our air force. And they already got more troops out there. China's military, as far as troops wise, they don't even need no gun. There's so many people out there. We'll run out of bullets trying to shoot down Chinese troops out there. You know what I'm saying? There's so many heads out there. That's why they're buying up all the real estate in Africa and all these different places for their people, their citizens, to move to and take over land and everything like that to strengthen China up. As well as all the islands and all of this stuff. So, us, we don't even get along with each other. I think U.S., we will self-destruct within. Just like Rome. Nobody could defeat Rome. Only way we'll be defeated, because we have the strongest military, right, is us being self-destructed within. Civil war with each other. The Republicans versus Democrats, like that. The whites versus the blacks, with different, white supremacy, black supremacy, stuff like that. Reparation issues, all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? We'll deconstruct from within through civil war, in my opinion. And once we deconstruct within, like us not getting along, even making decisions on, like Congress is not getting along with the House, right? On any kind of executive decision when it comes down for the president to make moves, we always want to veto laws, always want to oppose different bills, things in that nature. They want to snake each other and remove and impeach each other. It's a civil war within, and that's how we will be defeated by our enemies. That's an easy takeover. You know what I'm saying? So, that right there is just the way, personally, in my opinion, or because we turned our backs on God, which is number one. This country, in a religious perspective, spiritual perspective, once we turned our backs and backslid and turned our ways against God's ways and standards and how to govern this country, because we claim that we're one nation under God, and then we started doing things that contradict everything that we stood for, like, it's just so much, which we would be, this country would destroy itself, in my opinion. And God will allow it, because our sins reached up so high up to his level that he'll allow our enemies to destroy us because we didn't appreciate or honor God's commands. Because this is supposed to be founded on a Christian state, but once you take God out of everything, out the Constitution, out of schools, prayer, out of schools, start doing what you want to do and run things the way you want to run off your imaginations, there'll be chaos and haywire as we see now. And we see it through all different levels when it comes down to like black issues, or say race issues, when it comes down to sex issues, like homosexuality, all other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Extortion and extorting the poor and doing things You know what I'm saying? List goes on and on. So this could be like, and even abortion, sex crimes, you know what I'm saying? Crimes against humanity, all different things I feel is a way we would deserve to get our punishment, our just due by our enemies. You know? We thought we was greater than God. And we backslid in so many ways, man. That's my opinion. Everybody got their own opinion. You know? We didn't even treat our veterans right. And they sworn, which they're not supposed to swear anyway, to any country or any flag, because that's what God said. But once they worked for the government, doing what they had to do as far as going to war for them, and then when they come home, you see how they've been mistreated and left homeless and this, that, and the third. That ain't right neither. So there's a lot of stuff, in my opinion, on it. You know? Now we see NATO, UN responding to invade Russia. Again, it's just another form, another method for World War III to happen. And it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? We already see a Chinese warship try to shoot at a U.S. aircraft last Thursday, and you know, Biden tried to ask China to try to, warn China to, about the dangers of what they could have did, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't really want to retaliate on China, so there's a lot of fear being at stake too. We see. So that's the topics there, but one topic I do want to express talk about is the black Africans being denied going to Poland, escaping to Poland from Ukraine. I'm not laughing off the situation. I just see wow. The black Africans in Ukraine try to jet by, through a train or whatever, and try to escape to the next town, which is Poland, to avoid the war. Right? It's wow, yo, this is crazy. They got denied entry. They let everybody else in, but they denied them. Now, we already know the history of Poland. For those who don't know, Poland is U.S. on steroids. It's U.S. in the 1950s, you know what I'm saying? Toward blacks. That's how it is with racism out there. They very racist out there. I mean, they're the type, for those of us you going out there and say, if you coming from Queens, you went to Long Island, Garden City. I gotta keep saying this. And you driving through there, or if you try to walk through there, and you the only minority out there. Everybody else is white. And they looking at you and they start calling you monkey, making jungle noises and monkey sounds at you. They want to taunt you. You know what I'm saying? If you a female, they want to try to touch on you or grope you and everything like that. Take pictures and try to make you or try to ask you to twerk dance and all that stuff and everything like that, and make it you just a sex, just a piece of ass. You know what I'm saying? They look at you like you in the zoo. They treat you like you in the zoo, like you in a museum or something. They're not used to seeing blacks out there, or because they don't want blacks out there. They very racist out there. You know, you get accused for any little thing. Somebody could run inside of a Dollar General and steal everything while the people in the back, the minute you walk in, they're gonna accuse you and put you in jail for 3 to 6 years. You know, somebody can have a whole thing of drugs in them, and police come, they say, this is your drugs, you got it on you, you know? And they'll believe them, you know? They'll say that they'll racially target you, they'll racially profile you, you know what I mean? That's how it is in Poland. So for the black Africans reaching out to the U.S. for us to do something, why don't they just go to their native land, where they came from in Africa? Y'all got money, right? Like Akon claims. Y'all got all these resources, and y'all supposed to be a big, y'all represent diplomacy and all the other stuff. Like, why y'all asking U.S.? Why the Africans asking African Americans? Black Africans don't even like African Americans in the U.S. I lived amongst them for so long. They look at us and they treat us like we the bottom of the barrel, like we scum or something like that. Like we the scum of the earth. If you go down different blocks, up in the Bronx, or if you go to the Lansing Street, Canal Street, or something like that, they treat you like you ain't, they're not gonna represent you. They're gonna really call you my brother or nothing like that. They don't represent you. What were they when it came down to Black Lives Matter? Where were they when it came to any kind of injustice with Black Americans? There's a lot of Black Africans who talk down on Black Americans, especially the women. Black African women talk down on Black American women like we some ghetto mammies and we ain't this, we ain't that. And so there's a lot of issues between each other. They never held us down on any kind of issue of any kind of social injustice at all. But it's funny, but when things, and they take advantage of a lot of our vouchers that was made for us to get in the neighborhood. When it comes down to certain trades, or some come down to like credit and getting stores again, whatever, they'll use what we fought for as a token to take advantage of our vouchers for themselves and leave us out there stranded. Ain't no unity there. They identify with being Muslim than they do with as far as being Black. They don't identify by their skin color. They identify by their religion when it comes to us. And even the Muslims over here, that's American, that follow under like Farrakhan and all that stuff, you know what I mean? They look at them being radical, but they don't support them. They don't represent them. They kiss ass to the Europeans more than anything. You know what I'm saying? They'd rather marry a white girl, a lot of African men, thinking that's a token, the key to success, than they would an African woman. If they would marry African women, it's only for resources only. If she has a business or has certain credit or has certain sort of, finances, that's the only time they would marry an African woman, African American woman. But they don't really want to rock with them. You know what I'm saying? They'll bail out on them quick. And it's sad because you never really see them really represent us, but they always want us to represent them. Move to Africa, buy up the real estate. They don't even want you in their country. They don't even rep you. What tribe you from? You know what I'm saying? Just because you African, you all from different tribes. You got all different races out there too as well. So I'm just keeping it real as a Black man from what I experienced. And I got a lot of African friends. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of African friends. But the majority, there's a slight few, but the majority don't want to socialize or even entangle with us. You don't. They want to shoot. Africa owes us reparations just as much as daggone America owes us reparations, because they the ones who sold us to the Arabs. They the ones who sold us to slavery through the Sub-Saharan desert and all that other stuff, and the Sub-Saharan slave trade and all that stuff. They look up to and commerce with the Arabs more than you know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on, man. Let's keep it a buck. They always want us to give to them, but tables turn. Are they really giving to us? They never did. They talk down about you, but they idolize your culture. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. I hope things work out for them, but it's funny how tables turn, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just funny, man. Anyway, it's 30 minutes already. That's all. Easy, yo. Gem Star 1.